Well, good evening and welcome to the Arbor Hills Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is a field test of the Fenix HM75R headlamp. I want to thank Fenix Lighting for sending me this product and making the review possible. Well, I know what everyone is here for. You want to see the field test, so as usual, I will make the introduction very, very brief. There really isn't much to talk about except for output and power. For outputs, you have three modes: a cool white spot, a neutral white flood, and red. Output levels for the two whites are low, medium, high, turbo. Red gives you low, medium, high flashing. Now to select the output mode, simply turn the dial from this orientation forward or clockwise, and that rotates us through the modes back to off. To change an output level within a mode, simply press the button, it rotates around, and there is memory. Back to off. Well, I know what you're thinking. So easy, even an idiot like me could do it. And you're exactly right. Power is the really interesting thing, though. Replaceable 18650 battery goes here. I'll call that the primary power source. Now, if that's all you're using, this is a very light, very comfortable headlamp. Fenix also gives you an independent 21700 power bank. Let me move that out of the way. Clips on, clips off, right here at the back. You do not have to have this set up if you don't want. Attachment here, and these attachments are twist and lock. Now, you probably can't see it here because it's getting a little dark, but with the charging port rubber cover right here, sometimes putting it in can be just a little bit cumbersome. If you do it one or two times, trust me, it will be very easy. Now, power is power. There's no concept in this headlamp of exhausting the primary and then switching to the secondary. The headlamp will simply use whatever power you supply to it. You can run off of either independently or both simultaneously. In fact, I did verify this with Fenix Lighting, that if you want to approach the run times listed on the website, you're going to have to run both the primary and the secondary simultaneously. So there's the on-off for the power bank. Make sure you have that on before you turn the headlamp on. You will be good to go. There's considerable slack in this short cord, which is nice if you want to expand this out and, say, mount it on a helmet. Now, you may be thinking, well, what if I want to take this off and attach it somewhere else? No problem. You've got an extra long one right here. All right, I know what everyone is thinking. You really wish that I would shut my mouth and get out in the field and do my job, get the field test going. All right then, you want it, you got it. So I am at the bridge where I normally do output level test in low spot, one up to medium, and as I look up, we're still getting 35, maybe not quite 40 yards line of sight this time of year. Everything is really blooming. One more up into high, and then everyone's favorite, turbo. This is low flood, one up into medium. Look out over the creek. then high, and turbo. And we'll go side to side. Low red, medium, and then high. Well, I only have one word for that as far as red outputs go, and that's impressive. So, first practical test of the evening was some lighting in front of me. This is the playground. If I'm reviewing a flashlight, I normally do a close proximity search here. What I want to test is how well the low or medium flood. I think I'm going to start with medium and see how well that does, just lighting up the path in front of me and giving me some reasonable situational awareness side to side. Just walk around the playground area. Let me get this on. Okay, that is medium flood. And just for looking at the path 15 to 20 yards ahead of me, it's great. What I'm liking here is how well it lights up the playground area, even with lighting in the background. We can take advantage of memory between the output modes and the back and forth ease of use of the rotary dial and do some interesting things. So I'm kind of digging this medium flood for following a groomed path, at least out to 15, maybe 18 yards. Problem is it doesn't give me a lot of downrange. And what if I got some ice shine down there and I'm not quite sure what it is? So what I can do is simply pre-stage my spot in medium or high. I've got it in medium right now. So there's all the downrange I need. I still have pretty decent spill. And let's say this is the concrete path, and I go back into medium flood. So let's say I'll get over here to make this a little easier. So this is our nice groomed concrete path, and I walk by someone. Well, all I have to do is I've got red pre-staged and medium. I can go medium to red so I can at least see right in front of me. This time of year it's very important because Carl Copperhead and his buddies are out, so I don't like to walk when it's completely dark, even if there's good moonlight outside. I want to be able to see them at all times. And then when the person is passed, just go back up into medium flood and away I go. So I barely started this eval and I pretty much already decided that this is the headlamp that I'm going to wear when I'm out doing product reviews. This is a medium and high spot test, over 40 yards line of sight, looking back over another creek. I can just barely see beyond the opposite edge and into the far tree line. So let me rotate around to the right. Entrance to the outer loop trail. You've probably seen this before. Little under 20 to the sign, and then continue moving concrete path curves off to the right, but we're just going to keep going. Now I'm looking through, or I should say in between two trees out there. That's right at 100 yards, and I cannot see through that gap. So let me go one up to high. Definitely a bit better. So I would say with the surrounding light pollution, high will allow you to do detection out to maybe 125, possibly 150, but it would have to be no particulates in the air and a darker night away from city lights. So here's another quick test in high. Line of sight, probably a good 110. I could definitely do detection back to that far tree line, not identification. All right, let's go look at turbo. And turbo spot. Line of sight is about 55 yards with everything in bloom. I'm not getting the 60 plus that I normally do, but this is a good way to illustrate both the hot spot and the spill. Let me show you the side to side. With the candela on this beam, we don't expect it to be a real long thrower, but for most exploration tasks that I think people would do, and the time that you would normally use turbo, which should be relatively limited, it's a more than adequate beam. Let's keep it going, kind of see how it burns down. Over a minute and a half. And we've gone past 2, still looking pretty decent. We are coming up on 3 minutes. I may have to let it go to at least 4. I typically don't run these tests much longer than 4. About 3.5. The headlamp body is warm, but not uncomfortably warm, as we're coming up on 4 minutes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down here. Certainly for the first 4 or 5, not much in the way of appreciable step down. And there is red flash. I'm about 35 yards away, looking back to the top of the observation tower. I wanted to show you this view while I was at the top of the observation tower. This is high flood. A lot of people come up here looking for owls and other birds, and so if you're into nature observation, night photography, night videography, thought you might like to see this. Let's say we wanted to look further out in that direction. There's one up into turbo flood. So I wanted to show you another look at, this is medium red, and I'm doing an actual path following. Oh, let's say I turn the wrong way here. Yeah, I'm convinced I turned the wrong way. Let me go back. Now, if you really want to see something, one up into high. Oh, okay, this is the way I should have turned. And there we are back on the concrete path. So if you like hiking with a red light, I think you're going to be pretty pleased with this option. So if you like nature observation and videography, here's a practical example of medium flood. I'm back up to the parking lot, walking up to my truck in low flood. If you drop something by your vehicle, just looking right in front of you, yeah, this is getting the job done, even though we have a pretty substantial amount of light around us. All right, let's wrap this up. I'm headed back to where we started the exercise in medium flood. It's more than adequate for lighting up these dark areas. Just gives me some good fill lighting, so to speak, with all the other lighting around me. There is the medium spot, high, back to medium flood. Let's walk through here. That, by the way, is where I filmed the intro. Fit and comfort were really good, about an hour 40 total wear time tonight. Now, I should point out that most of the time I wear an HP 30R V2 that is mounted to a bump helmet, so take everything I say regarding fit and comfort with a couple grains of salt. Although I think one thing that everyone will find is that the weight between the headlamp and the secondary power bank is very well balanced. It was very hard for me to tell whether there was any tendency to feel more weight to the front or back of my head. I think in terms of performance, I'm hoping you saw everything you needed tonight. A good light should speak for itself. We're back up to the playground area. So would I use this light in search and rescue? Let me go up one more to high flood. Possibly, it needs some more testing, but the use case I'm thinking of is more wide open area searches where I'm walking a very fixed pattern. And you're usually not going to be lucky enough to find the person. I can do a quick sweep in thermal for that. What you're looking for is sign. Just any type of sign that the person that you're looking for came through that area, then get that information back to Incident Command and let them further refine the search. But there's so many other use cases. I would tend to think by now, if you haven't thought of at least one or two, that probably tells you something. And I think on that happy note, I'm just going to leave the final decision to you. As I've said so many times, I'm just the bozo who gets out here, hangs out with the wild animals, and runs the test. I'm thinking there'll be at least one more field test of this light. So if there's something you want to see, leave a comment. I'll see what I can do. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.